how to learn Arabic if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner and you don't know where to start with, and you want to know if this program you're looking at or this book you're looking at or whatever it might be is the right program for you, you need to know how the Salaf, how the predecessors, how the early scholars said and taught us how to learn the language. And this is a very, controversial argument that happens amongst people talking about how to learn the Arabic language. Should you start with this book? Should you start with that book? Because this book focuses a little bit more on grammar. This book focuses a little bit more on sarf. This book focuses more on vocabulary. What should I start with? Should I focus on speaking? Should I focus on nahu and sarf to understand the Quran, the Sunnah, and so on? So let's look at what Ibn Faris, rahimahullah, who is a scholar who passed away in the year Hijri 395, which is the closest you can get from the generation, the golden generation of the Sahaba, which is the one that the Prophet ﷺ, he said are the best of generations, where he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, خير الناس قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم, that the best of people is my qarn, my the people that lived in within these 100 years, then those that followed, meaning the next 100 years, then those that followed, meaning the next 100 years. So Ibn Faris is only 95 years after these three decades. And so he says, Ibn Faris, إن لعلم العرب أصلا وفرعا, that for the knowledge of the Arabic language there is something that's asli, that's foundational, and something that is branch, like fara, something that's more of a branch of it. So he says, أما الفرع, what's considered the branch, فمعرفة الأسماء والصفات. Then in this regard we are talking about asma, names, nouns, and sifat, and adjectives or things that describe things, i.e. nouns and adjectives. And he says, and he gives an example, كقولنا رجل, like man, faras, like horse, طويل, which is an adjective in this case, or as he mentioned, sifat, long, وقصير, short. وهذا هو الذي يبدأ به عند التعلم. And he says, and this is what you should start with when it comes to learning, عند التعلم, when it comes to learning the language. And so, as you can see here from the early scholars, this is literally the Salaf. When we talk about the early predecessors, this is the scholars that when it comes to knowing how to learn the Arabic language, you should refer back to. So if Ibn Faris is saying that what you should start with is understanding asma and sifat, like rajul, faras, man, horse, long, short, then why should we continue in 2025 arguing about, yeah, well, no, actually you should start with grammar as well, because they didn't know no grammar. They just knew how to refer to things, and based on referring on those things, put them together to make a sentence with it. Then grammar comes later, and that's the part of as he says in the rest of the qawl, which I didn't want to get into it because I wanted to emphasize on the fact that you should start with vocabulary. Another thing that I wanted to mention as well is, in the beginning of this beneficial book about the Arabic language, he says, وَقَدْ اتَّفَقَ الْعُلَمَاء كَابْنِ فَارِس, and the scholars of the Arabic language, like Ibn Faris, وابن سيدة, والفيروز الأبادي, وابن منظور, على تعريف ابن جني, they all agreed upon the ta'rif of Ibn Jinni, which is one of the great scholars as well of the Arabic language, that lugha, the language, what it means is, and what it refers to, and what it is is أصوات يعبر بها كل قوم عن أغراضهم. That is sounds that every that every qawm, that every people uses to refer to things they want to say. And so this shows as well that the language, what is intended initially, is when it comes to speaking. And it's known logically, if you think about it, when you speak, the most things that you use is vocabulary. And that's why they say without vocabulary or without grammar, little can be conveyed, but without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. And so if you start learning the Arabic language as a beginner, know that you should start by building your mental dictionary and by having as much vocabulary as possible, which will allow you then to use the rules of sarf and nahu in good context, in a context that's comprehensive and that is useful for the person that is listening to you. With this being said, if you're interested in actually going a little bit more in depth on how to actually learn the Arabic language, I would recommend you to check the first link in the description. It's going to be a video that I have called How to Learn Arabic from Scratch. It's a 1 hour video. It's not a video that you can watch in a few minutes. It's a 1 hour video that requires your attention, where I'll break down everything that you need to know in order for you to start learning the Arabic language. And I even give you the resources, and I even give you a book that I call Daftar al-Tabir or Mihfadat al-Mufradat, which is a vocabulary wallet that will allow you to start building and storing this vocabulary somewhere, so you can start building this mental dictionary. Stay strong and happy Arabic learning. Assalamu alaikum.